think this is a story of continued innovation. We've seen it with iPhone, certainly Mac, iPad. The watch and the wearables category in many ways is just getting going. Services remain strong and continues to broaden out with new offerings like Fitness Plus. And so I think over the next 1 to 2 years, we're going to see more of the same. There's potential over the next, I'd say, 24 to 36 months for Apple to introduce glasses, augmented or virtual reality. I think a big piece of the story will remain, though, their ability to empower the millions of developers around the world and really sustain this vibrant ecosystem that is so essential to everything Apple, its users, and the broader community are able to stand on. So that, in my view, is a big part of the magic here of the story.
What's a large number? Because there's something called a law of large numbers. And it seemed to have some effect as Apple tried to get through $1 trillion like 10 years ago, I think. There is such a thing as the law of large numbers. The stock has doubled. I mean, if it doubles again, it's $6 trillion.
It's about being able to redefine the user experience, to redefine categories. We all recall with the iPod, there were music players, but Apple was able to change that. They brought in iTunes. They've been able to deliver an iPhone and really change that category with the App Store. So every time they've gone into new markets, it's not just about delivering products. It's about giving a user experience that is differentiated, that is fun, that is secure. And that's really enabled them to move into other areas. And so as we look out over the next few years, healthcare is an example of something that we think there's a lot of value they can potentially create. And it's not just them. It's really this notion of bringing others along with them.
So what could trip up the 2, 3, 4 year growth story for Apple? What would it be?
It would be a variety of factors, including their inability to execute on product cycles. The markets they compete in are, of course, incredibly difficult. The phone market, as we appreciate, there are many companies with razor-thin margins as they expand into new areas. None of this is something that they will necessarily be successful with. I think, though, what they are going to bring, which raises their probability of success, is really this integration of hardware, software, and services. That's something that cuts across a lot of different areas and is able to deliver the experience that users will value. If they're able to do that, I do think there's additional shareholder value to be created here.
I mean, we've come to accept just small innovations on existing product lines, and I don't know what does an iPhone 25 do versus what the iPhones do today, right? I mean, how many more bells and whistles? How does that, how long can you extend the life of that? And what do you got? You need a flying car? What's next?
Well, if we look at the phone, what's interesting, and there have been cameras on phones for a long time, but what we've seen in recent years and what we think will accelerate over the next few years is the ability for the camera and for 3D sensing to give a whole new view into the world. The camera is how we all experience a lot of what's around us. And we've seen during COVID and in the world that lies ahead, the camera will be even more important. So I see that as one of many examples, Joe, of where they're going to take an experience and bring it to the new level. If they're able, for example, with augmented reality to extend into a new device category, that would obviously be incremental. But when I think of iPhone 25 or the ones beyond, it's going to be their ability to take the existing technologies, redefine the experience, but of course, keep the user base happy. And that's one of the reasons I think that the installed base has continued to grow, even in what remains a very challenging smartphone market.
What's your price target now, Dan? Do you have one? And what even if you don't, where do you would you buy it here? Would you wait for a pullback? Would you? What do we see by the end in the next 12 to 18 months? What do you think is possible?
Joe, I am a buyer here. I do think there's substantial upside over the next 12 to 24 months. I think it's going to be driven by growth, free cash flow generation, and this ability to continue innovating and empowering others to be successful on their platform and in their broader ecosystem.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.